Okay, so the affirmative side in their opening said that illegal immigration is a growing problem. But what they failed to mention was that for the U.S., immigration in all forms, both legal and illegal, has been the backbone for the growth that this country has experienced. Illegal immigration into the United States is a highly profitable proposition for both employers and the U.S. government, and it also benefits Mexico, which is the largest source for undocumented immigrants into the U.S. Because there is a shortage of unskilled labor in many segments of the U.S. economy, numerous low-skilled positions are being filled by illegal immigrant workers. Without these workers, the productivity and economic growth of the economy would be slower, and there would be fewer jobs for skilled labor. Also, by filling these unskilled labor openings, illegal immigration contributes to keeping the U.S. economy prosperous and affluent. The affirmative claimed that illegal immigrants put a strain on the budgets of the U.S. and that citizens end up paying for these immigrants out of their own pockets. This, in fact, is not true. Francine J. Lippman, professor of law at Chapman University, stated in the spring 2006 Harvard Latino Law Review article that undocumented people actually contribute more to public coffers in taxes than they cost in social services. Each year, undocumented immigrants add billions of dollars in sales, property, income, and payroll taxes, including Social Security, Medicare, and unemployment taxes to federal, state, and local coffers. She goes on to say that hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants go out of their way to file annual federal and state income tax returns, yet undocumented immigrants are barred from almost all government benefits. The only benefits federally required for undocumented immigrants are emergency medical care, subject to financial and category eligibility, and elementary and secondary public education for children. Many undocumented immigrants will not even access these few critical government services because of their ever-present fear of government officials and deportation. Undocumented immigrants living in the United States are subject to the same income tax laws as documented immigrants and U.S. citizens. However, because of their status, most unauthorized workers pay a higher effective tax rate than similarly situated documented or U.S. citizens. The next claim the affirmative side made was that illegal immigrants caused the crime rate in the U.S. to rise. This is also not completely true. An article written by Eunice Moscoso for the Arizona Daily Star about a study done in February 2007 revealed that immigrants, both legal and illegal, do not raise the rate of crime in the United States, according to that study. In every ethnic group, incarceration rates among young men are lowest for immigrants, even those who are less educated. Said the study by the Immigration Policy Center, an immigrant advocacy group in Washington. This holds especially true for Mexicans, Salvadorans, and Guatemalans, who make up the bulk of the illegal population. The crime rate of first-generation immigrants is less than that of native-born citizens. Dr. Ruben J. Rumbach, professor of sociology at USC, stated that in a 2007 Immigration Policy Center report that data from the census and other sources show that for every ethnic group without exception, incarceration rates among young men are lowest for immigrants, even those who are the least educated. Most immigrants who come to the U.S. are not looking to cause havoc. They are mainly looking to help their families live a better life than they did in their home countries. The affirmative presented a solution to the assumed problem of illegal immigration. Their solution is to send troops to the U.S. border to quell the immigrant population. This is a drastic measure that does not have to be taken. The troops used are taken away from other more important duties, such as wars overseas. And in order for the Army to send troops to the borders of Canada to control the influx of Indian and Chinese immigrants, and the borders of Mexico to control Mexican, Salvadorian, and Guatemalan immigrants, that would take too much money for training, housing, and food. Many less drastic measures are in the process of being implemented into the government to attempt to control but not abolish the population of illegal immigrants who work in the United States. The first was when the Bush administration proposed a law allowing illegal immigrants who arrived before February 2004 to qualify for guest worker visas. Those smuggled in after would be deported. Senators McCain and Kennedy are sponsoring a bill that would create 400,000 three-year visas for guest workers rather than deport 11 million people. This allows undocumented workers to stay in the U.S. while they apply. Undocumented workers would register with the government, pay back taxes and a $2,000 fine, and then go through a series of background checks and work at least 6 years before applying for a work visa.